for the final time in Season 2, we've arrived in Laguna Seca for the championship finale here in the INDYCAR series on Sparkplug Motorsports. As you can see, the drivers coming away from the grid to start their lap behind the pace car. Rodney Sola taking his one and only, it seems, INDYCAR pole. That is, of course, after his stint at Power Motorsports, he does desire to return to INDYCAR, but currently we don't think he will. So currently, for his final INDYCAR start, he will be starting from the front. Behind him is the World Drivers' Champion, Max Bortkar, in second from Ghosted and Elliot Deli. Marcus Nelson starts fifth with a knock U for company. Then it's Carson Thornburg, Tommy, Daf Sanchez, who won last time out, and Devin Butler, the top 10. Outside of that, you've got the other Dragon Penske of Charles Hernandez, then Niven Colby and Melsos Micah, O'Quee, Linus Erickson in the 15, Lil Buns, Dominic Hudson, Denali Gabo, David Camino, Zach Wallace, Davi Cerquera, and Hexel Mark. And this being the traditional season finale here in INDYCAR under the lights, we're expecting a lot of sparks, and there is a possibility of rain, but if the rain does fall, there's only going to really be one man for the job, and it's the man at the front of the pack. You can see him now heading down into the final sector behind the pace car. And if the first two sectors are about 80% flat out, then this is where all of that flat out action just ends. You come out of that long turn and then you're thrust into this part of the track that feels like a street circuit. And this is where a lot of overtakes, a lot of carnage takes place. And for some of the drivers, they prefer it. For some of the others, they really don't like it. Looking back with the 29, making its last start in Season 2. The safety car is pulling into the pits at the end of this lap. And for Rodney Sola to cap off his time with Prema before he heads off to Formula E, he's going to be starting from the front. He'll have to defend from the World Drivers' Champion. Here we go for the final time in Season 2. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys! Through turn 1 they come. Into 2 with Sola. Hasn't broken away from Bortkar as he would like. Probably down to the tire difference. Got 3 of them on the hards and 2 of them on the mediums, and Sola's one of them. Bortkar closing in 3/10 gap as they head on to the main straight. No attack mode on lap 1. Well, the first lap after coming out of the safety car period. But here comes Bortkar with the slipstream, using push to pass. Looks to the inside, almost contact. There is contact. Front to the rear as Sola still alongside and losing out to Max Bortkar. The championship winner has taken the lead in Season 2, and he's taken the lead here at Laguna Seca. On board we go with the 3. And he's dropped time to Bortkar in front. He's dropped to 8 seconds behind, but they have dropped Ghosted down to Wallace. Wallace now at the back of the pack, in fact. You can see the drivers making their way through the final sector. Down the inside comes Linus Erickson, gets a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision with Lil Buns there. You can see many other drivers going side by side, including, I believe, that's David Camino, yes, getting himself in front of Denali Gallo. Daf Sanchez with the fastest third sector of anyone. Here comes Hudson on Erickson, trying to close up to get alongside and is in front of the McLaren man. Meanwhile, Deli and Ghosted fighting amongst each other over the third position. Attack mode is now online, and Deli doesn't have it. I don't know if Sola has it. Does he have it? I don't think he does. He doesn't. So Ghosted is the highest up driver with it. He's going to try and take second here away from his own countryman. He's not quite close enough to make the lunge. Had to brake a little earlier than he would have wanted just to make sure he doesn't collide with the Prema driver in front. Now, Sola should have attack mode. Didn't get it. He didn't get it. Ghosted still the highest driver with it. And look at Nelson. Throws that hyperdrive car up into third position in what should be his final INDYCAR start too. And you can see the mid-pack, almost contact. There was contact between Ghosted and Nelson. And Elliot Deli getting himself alongside with an RQ, who throws it down the inside on Ghosted to take fourth. He's going to get alongside with Nelson. But as we're on to lap 4, Bortcar's just bolted. Soft tyres are beginning to grain up. But for Max Bortcar, he's not really facing any of those troubles. Solar, however, he is beginning to struggle on those mediums. Maybe not liking the state of them so much as Melsar's dropping alongside with Gabo, struggling on those hards. Here they come with attack mode. They're coming up again for a new point. Here comes Nelson alongside with Solar. He's going to have to thread the needle down the inside through 6 rather, and he's got a time penalty. Collision with the side of the Prema. One of them's got attack mode, and I think it should be Nelson. No, they both have attack mode here. So Nelson chasing after Bortcar, and Solar all over the back of him. We're on board with car number 3, rounding out of turn 9. And he's not alongside with him, and through this twisty part of the track, it's better to be close to someone than alongside. Bortcar, Nelson and Solar, the top 3 still. And you can see the softs are really beginning to go off of that performance cliff that we hear of so many times throughout both ERL championships. In comes Nelson, Solar stays out, Bortcar stays out, and OQ comes in. Let's look at that. That's Ghosted and Deli fighting over third. Ghosted dropped 3 seconds to Solar there, so for Rodney, he should be fine with his second position for now, but Deli hounding the back of the British driver in front of him. We've got Thornburg, Tommy and Sanchez all out on the hards. The teams are certainly paying attention to this man, Hexel Mark. Not Hexel Mark, rather, sorry for hitting my mic. Milsos Micah, rather. And how his tyres are performing off the track for Ghosted. Ghosted way offline there, getting demoted down to 4th position. Deli makes a pass, but not too sure if that was the cleanest way to do it, because he's effectively just forced Britain to just hit the gravel effectively. It's not Danico's all mine, it's more Oracle is all mine at this point with Deli's racing. And Colby on the back of the Britain and having to defend from a Britain as well. But they've kept it all quite clean and staying effectively in single file. And Wallace is off. Zach Wallace has spun his car. Circular quite a ways in front and RQ quite a ways behind, but he's caught up. Solar now leads as Bortcar pits. I'm sure some of the teams would have wanted it to be a caution period, but no. So many teams called in, the drivers expecting it as Enoch gets past Wallace, and that is Bortcar. Bortcar has come out of the pits behind Enoch Yu. So crucially, the Hong Kong driver here at Laguna Seca currently holds the Nat Race lead. And he's got 4 drivers in front of him that he kind of has to pass. Cabo's done 6 laps on those softs. They're at 18%. They are flashing. That is not an enviable position to be in. He's certainly going to struggle by the time he makes his way into the 3rd. Down the inside comes Max Bortcar. Moves in front of Davy Carrera and takes 5th position. He'll get attack mode to try and chase after Enoch Yu. Doesn't actually have attack mode, rather. Down the inside goes Yu on Micah. So as Bortcar makes one move, Yu makes another. It's like it, as 5 Live shows you one event, Sports Extra brings you another live and uninterrupted, if you've ever had the pleasure of that. Into Thornburg goes Gabo. A lot of weaving from Wallace there as well, having to keep it quite calm and measured. 7% for Gabo, and has Solar come in? He has, and OQ's taking the lead of this race. In comes Gabo. So it's you from Bortcar and Micah. Hernandez currently with the net P3. Solar's come out in 11th on another set of the medium compound tyres. Theoretically he can make it to the end, but I'm not too sure if he's going to want to do it. If he wanted to do the one stop, the hard tyres might have been his best and possibly only opportunity to do so. Here comes Sport Car alongside and now in front of an RQ. And the Hong Kong man has no answer for the Drivers' Champion. Hernandez on the back of Micah, and as the Polish driver's giving him in quite a lot of trouble, there goes Charles up into P3. The Thai driver for Team Penske now in front of the Polish driver for Sims Motorsport, and Marcus Nelson with the net P4 on the back of Micah. I'm just shocked at how clean the drivers have kept this so far. We've had one yellow flag period. Yeah, we've got drivers who've had penalties, but no one's caused a full course caution. So we're on to lap 8 of 14. We go on board with Solar as finally Zach Wallace pits. Longest stint on any tyres, 8 laps for both Seca and Micah. As the Sims Motorsport man, he's been dropping down in the order for quite a while now. Hasn't been able to make passes. He's only been able to be passed by drivers like Delhi and Tommy, as here comes the 45 with Solar for company. There goes Rodney in front of Tommy as well. He's up to 7th for the man who started this race on pole. The question is, can he do 6 more laps on those mediums? Considering that he did 6 laps on his mediums that he started the race with, theoretically he can. It's just going to come down to that final sector, and if he's got the grip to do it. Meanwhile, here comes Kui, all over the back of Rodney now. There's a real fight for the final position on the podium, stretching from Hernandez down to, I'd like to say, Hudson. Has almost contact between Thornburg and Hernandez. That's quite the robust defense from the number 35, who keeps it in front. And we've got yellows. Who's gone off? That is not an RQ who's coming to the pits. We've got the track cleared up. An Ox come in for his second stop. Nelson's in, and Hernandez in. Micah comes into the pits. Dominic Hudson's into the pits. Many drivers coming in we didn't quite catch who caused the caution. Solar's up into P3, and almost contact between Haxel, Mark and Delhi. They were about to do 3 wide. It takes 2 to tango, but what do we call this? For this 3 wide battle for the lead, for 3rd position rather, and Kui joining on to this too. Thornburg trying to break away from these guys, but he's only 2 seconds in front of Solar. Max Sport Car, that lead is amazing from him, but his tyres are not. 37%. He's going to have to 2-stop. What's this from Kui, sending it down the inside on Hexel. Moves up into 5th position with 5 to go. 5 to the white flag. Faster second sector going to a not Q. We remain on board with Kui. And Hexel marks out! Out of the race goes Hexel! And it's your first caution of the day. And Bortcard was already on the start-finish line as the full course cautions came out. He couldn't make the most of it. Thornburg could pit here and does. Solar stays out. Not too sure if he really should have stayed out. Kui comes into the pits too. And that's the first full course caution of the day. Hexel just threw it right into the barriers. And considering that he's rumoured to be dropped from the Revolution Racing team, that might be how his driving career in the ERL ends. 24% flashing for Max Bortcar, who leads this race 13 seconds in front of the Season 5 Formula E champion, Rodney Solar. Then it's Elliot Delly, who's doing time in both INDYCAR and Formula E for this season. He is rumoured to be doing Formula E full-time for Season 24. And here comes Thornburg past Colby. The hard tyres are not ideal, it seems, for any stage of this race, because Zach Wallace, who spent an unbelievably long time on them, as well as the Sims Motorsport man of Melsos Micah, they didn't really get themselves into the points, which I'm pretty sure was the goal. So we're on board with Thornburg. He's dropped time to his teammate. There goes you alongside with Tommy. Is he going to try and force a move on Thornburg? Can't really get close enough to even think about doing it. Butler with the fastest second sector of anyone. So you can see a little bit of weaving coming in for some of the drivers who have spent too long on their tyres. Bortcar finally comes in. Elliot Daly comes in too. Rodney Sola is your race leader on lap 11 of 14 with 3 to go. 41% for Rodney. There goes Ghosted in front of Max Bortcar, who's come out of the pits in 6th, and once again he's lost time to both Enoch Q, but this time, crucially, Carson Thornburg, who is in 2nd. For Rodney Sola, he's hoping for a caution that involves Thornburg or Enoch Q or even Bortcar, who's made his way up into 4th, to try and take the win. As here comes Ghosted down the inside on Tommy, goes alongside, and both drivers have gone off the track. Ghosted's taken 5th, and Ericsson moves up to 6th, so Tommy losing 2 positions there. Colby goes alongside with the Revolution Racing driver and moves up into 8th position, sends it down the inside, and the struggles on the hard tyres for Tommy. They're coming in hot. There goes Hernandez to the outside. Quee and Colby were going 2 by 2. Hernandez forced off the track by Tommy, keeps it on to the track, keeps it out of the wall rather. Sola's coming to the pits with Enoch Q. So Enoch Q coming in on lap 12. 3 stopper for Enoch. And a full course caution. This is coming at a brilliant time. Zach Wallace out of this race in the wall for Sola. This is a perfectly timed strategic decision. He's on the softs. He can make it to the end, and he can blast past everyone now. He's 14 seconds off the race lead. But these tyres that Firestone have brought for Season 2, we've seen it so many times. They wear like hotcakes. Sola should still be on for a podium here. A race win might be a little harder to come by, but if enough drivers have troubles and he can just blast past everyone, he might have this. He moves up into 7th position in front of Milsal Smiker as Ericsson gets passed by Marcus Nelson. A little bit of a battle between the 2 Scandinavian drivers. Sola now onto the back of David Camino, and he's got to do this quickly if he wants to even get onto the podium, because he's only got 2 laps to go and 5 seconds to close on to this man, Oquee of the Netherlands. Sola moves up into 6th position in front of Camino on the back of Linus Eriksson now. He shouldn't make a move here, but he could still go for it. Almost lunges and thankfully misses the McLaren man. We're on to the penultimate lap. Carson Thornburg leads in the final round of ERL INDYCAR Season 2. Round the outside for Rodney Sola, and that is the move of the champion to get himself up into 5th position. Brilliant move from the number 3. He has not lost any of his pace between the seasons. He's been absent from the ERL. Next up, a driver he's raced against before, although back then he was driving for Jaguar and Nelson was driving for Mahindra. Down the inside comes Rodney Sola to take 4th position away from the Revolution Racing man, from the Hyperdrive Racing man rather. He uses attack mode now, and I want to just say this: over the course of a lap in a sector, he has gone from 9th to 4th. That is unbelievable. But now he's got to close up 2 seconds. Bortcar closing up to the back of Carson Thornburg, and the World Drivers' Champion takes the lead on the penultimate lap of the final race in Season 2. Looking back with a 29. And Thornburg's still there with him, but losing tons of time. Grip is surely to become an issue come race's end for the top 3. Not for the man currently seated in 4th position and 10 seconds off the lead. Camino dropping down in the order quite substantially, and Daly's off. Elliot Daly with a 5-second time penalty. Front wing damage for the Chip Ganassi driver. And he's struggling to right that car as well onto the final lap. The mid-pack and the back of the pack, in fact, all very close together. Thornburg is actually closing up. Fastest first sector goes to Max Bortcar. Thornburg doesn't have attack mode. He can't get close to him. Sola is going for P3 right now. I don't think he can take the lead unless Bortcar and Thornburg crash out. So here comes Rodney Sola, using push to pass and attack mode in tandem. And while he started this race on pole, he's lost out on strategy, but he'll make the most of it. He's up into P3 for now. He's not going to get another dosage of attack mode. That'll go to the man who's currently seated behind him. And for Max Bortcar, car number 29 for Andretti Green Racing. They've taken their second consecutive Drivers' Championship and their first Constructors' Championship. It's been a brilliant season if you're an Andretti fan. Rounding the final turn, Max Bortcar, your Season 2 champion, wins at Laguna Seca. Thornburg comes across the line in second, and a brilliant fight back drive for Rodney Sola. Season finish in third. Sercarrera coming right behind, and Elliott Daly there right behind him, hitting him as Sola getting a fastest lap. Rather didn't quite manage to see what the lap time was. And this is going to be a real melee for 12th position. And Sercarrera just about lost out on it as Hudson's got a full car puncture. 2% for Camino at the line, and for Dominic Hudson as his teammates take in third position. 5 laps is 5 laps too many. And yeah, he's done the longest stint on the softs. If someone else, I didn't catch it, if Butler did an extra lap, he would have been in the same situation. And this is your podium for the final round. The Season 2 World Drivers' Champion Max Bortcar takes victory at Laguna Seca from Carsten Thornburg and Rodney Sola, who took the fastest lap on the final lap. Then it's O'Quee, Anokyu, Marcus Nelson, Milsos Micah, Tommy, Devin Butler, Nevin Colby, Charles Hernandez, Ghosted, Daf Sanchez, Linus Eriksson, Lil Buns, Elliott Daly, Davy Sercarrera, Denali Gabo, David Camno, and Dominic Hudson, with the non-finishers being Zach Wallace and Hexel Mark. Meanwhile, in the driver standings, on 159 points, Bortcar is your champion from Daly and Sanchez. Then it's Tommy, Sola tied with Sercarrera. Then it's Anokyu, Hudson, and Thornburg from Buns, Nelson, Camino, Ghosted, Wallace, Gabo, and O'Quee. Hexel Mark was 17th from Micah and Eriksson. Then it's Butler, Hernandez, and Niven Colby. In the constructors' standings, Andretti Green Racing, your Season 2 World Constructors Champions from Chip Ganassi Racing and Prema Power Team. Then it's KV Racing Lotus in 4th from Power Motorsport and Revolution Racing. Apex Pinnacle was 7th from Hyperdrive Racing in 8th. Then it's Aaron McLaren SP, Sims Motorsport, and Dragon Penske. Well, after the absolute dogfight of Season 1, Season 2 saw us have our first dominant championship winner in Max Bortcar. But with all of that said and done, we will see you next time then for Season 3 of the ERL INDYCAR Championship.